What up, Fightful fam, and welcome to your UFC Vegas 20 main event and partially co-main event watch along. I'm Shaquille Madjoui, Fightful, of course, joined by Fernanda the Panda Pratic, all the way from Mexico City right now, and a new nickname for you. How's it going?
I love it. I feel like it really suits my personality.
Yeah, just friendly, lovable, but watch out, right?
Exactly, and also very rare. So like treat it carefully.
I
I love
love
it.
it.
I'm doing great. How are you? How is everyone?
Hey, we're killing it. You know, we were just talking off the air about your deep, deep love for Nikita Krylov, a man who somehow manages to look 28 and 58 at the same time. What is it about Krylov that
Beautiful.
tickles your fancy?
I cannot. I wish. I think he has an air of danger to him. Like that's the closest I can come to explaining it. In fairness, I developed this crush like 4 years ago, and he's aged like 50 years since then. So I feel like you need to take into consideration that like this started early on.
Mm-hmm.
But I do find it amazing that he's younger than me, but he has the eyes of a person who has seen things, who has lived life
Yeah.
a lot. So, which I don't even know. I don't know a lot about his life, and I like to keep it that way because, like I said, I like the air of danger. I like the
Yeah,
mystery.
don't meet your heroes. They'll often disappoint you. And yeah, sorry guys. I know some people are wondering about the slightly late start. Well, this was supposed to be for the main event anyway, so we took our sweet ass time. I was making myself a drink because Fernanda, you did not give me enough notice. Had I known that you were going to try making Negronis tonight, I have a bottle of Campari that I bought specifically to start making cocktails, only to realize my girlfriend
Oh.
and I hate bitters. But I've been making them anyway to try and condition myself. And had I had a little bit of notice, we could have had our cocktails together. I just went with a random
Oh.
highball tonight. It's all good.
Okay. Well, that's amazing. I'll end. So it was an improv thing in my defense because I
Yeah.
had no idea. But yesterday I decided that Negronis were my thing now. Where did that come from? I have no idea. It's just how I am, and I got things for a Negroni and looked it up online and decided that today would be the day. So I should have given you notice, so we could have had a party. So sorry about that, but
It's okay. We'll make up for it perhaps next Saturday or sometime in the near future. Shout out to everyone hitting us up in the live stream. We're going live on Fightful MMA's YouTube, Fightful on Facebook, my Periscope. We've also hijacked Sean Ross Sapp's Twitter account, so shout out to his 60,000 followers. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm sure at some point. Yeah. Okay, so I know we weren't really planning on doing Krylov and Kalaev. What is your quick prediction? Are you voting with your heart or your mind on this one?
I'm actually voting with my heart on this one. I was honestly the way it's going because like before the fight, I had like in my mind like a first round knockout for Krylov, which was not based on reality in any way. Really was just my emotions. But now I don't even know. Like I'm gonna guess on Kalev with a decision. Like that's how I'm picking now as this progresses.
Yeah, I would have expected by now perhaps some more grappling exchanges by Krylov, one of those slick submissions that Al Capone. It was weird. You know what? What is his nickname right now? Because I remember that
What's the minor, right? Or something.
Right? Wasn't it like something really dope before, like Al Capone? Because
Yeah.
he was at UFC Vancouver. He had a fight that night. I live in Vancouver, so I went as press. And I specifically remember people asking him, why did you change his nickname? And he wouldn't talk about it. Like it was very mafioso. Like he didn't want us to bring it up. He didn't want to give it a second. Like I don't know what was going on, but it sounded dangerous. It's that air of mystery that you love so much.
See, that's why he's so sexy. He may or may not be involved with the mafia. Like that's kind of how I no, that's not cute. I don't know. I remember something like that. Wasn't it the minor or is it the minor now?
I think it's the minor. I know
that has a background because like it's a thing with his family. I think I remember reading a story about it once, but like I said, I try to not get too involved in his personal affairs so as to keep my I don't have many of them. I don't allow myself many crushes. I certainly never declare them publicly. This is probably the first time just because there are several men on Twitter looking to find reasons to say I'm not a competent professional with my female body parts. So that's why I generally avoid the subject, but I guess it's out in the open that I have a low-key obsession with Nikita Krylov.
Live chat audience, let us know who your MMA man crush is, because I don't get down with you weird freaks and your obsession with the female fighters. So let us know who your man crush is. Mine is Carlos Condit. Carlos Condit. Handsome, grizzled, mysterious, and I love alliteration. The natural born killer, Carlos Condit. Like, you can't get better than that. So
he's objectively the most good-looking fighter, though.
Truly.
Like, he is. Like, I don't accept any arguments to the contrary, because I believe in science, and that's just science.
Like, shout out to the Drew Dobers and the Wonderboy Thompsons of the world, but they're a little too pretty for my liking. If I were to swing that way, I want a little bit. I want a man who can grow facial hair, because I can't.
Yeah.
So
that's I can't grow facial hair either, if that makes you feel any better, Shaq.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, that reminds me of a very fun guys. I promise we'll get to fight talks for the main event. Caleb, who actually put out on Twitter that our friend Caleb of the show, who announced today that he has COVID. So Caleb, please take care of yourself. I hope you're doing okay. He says Carlos Condit is definitely the right answer. So the man's got good taste.
He is. And I just had COVID, Caleb, friend of the show, and I'm okay. So if that helps you in any way, here I am, thriving. Kind of. I went for a run today. It wasn't good, but let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
I don't even remember where I was going to go with that. But it is what it is.
Fight, maybe. We're going into a third round.
Yes, we are. What is your? We'll save your quick prediction for the main event when we get there. No need to spoil the results now. But has there been a worse main event in terms, not necessarily matchup wise, but in terms of like name value? Has there been a more lackluster main event this year?
Ooh,
it's been pretty stacked for the most part. They've actually been really good.
Yeah. When you said this year, I think you narrowed it down. I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I have terrible memory, but I can't think of one.
Well, it'd be a little easier to distinguish if there wasn't a fight every Saturday, right? So.
Yeah, they kind of blend together after some point. I would have to look it up, but yeah, and this is the culminating, like, my slightly off-putting affection and affinity, you could say, for Krylov aside, that is not stellar.
How does Nick Baldwin keep getting on these broadcasts? I can't get a tweet to save my life, and Nick Baldwin is up there like 18 times an episode.
I think
and he was on Between the
tweet.
Links. My little brother Nick is doing big things. It's nice to see.
I think, like, his youth is very captivating to people. Sure. I think that's it.
He's like Benjamin Button. Year to year, he just gets younger.
He makes us think of better times. I think that's his whole charm.
He is remarkably tall. I don't know if you've had the pleasure of meeting Nick in person.
Is. I have a few times. I was literally just saying that to my boyfriend the other day, because he doesn't know Nick personally, and he was saying something like, he looks really young, and I was like, hey, he's actually quite tall, so it's quite jarring in person to like put the face and the height together.
Yeah. And guys, if you're watching us on Facebook or Periscope and you're looking for a little bit more interaction, hop over to youtube.com/FightfulMMA. That's where the live chat is. Guys, if you're on YouTube, hit like, tap the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Cliche, I know, but it really does go a long way to helping us do what we do. If you're feeling a little generous, a super chat donation would go a long way. Be back. Well, let me open up this chat. Be back wants to know, whose Venmo do I need to send money so that I can get a tweet on the broadcast? You know what? I don't know. And I think people are lying to me, but I've asked all my media friends who get their tweets regularly. I'm like, who do I need to give, to get on this broadcast because I'm thirsty.
I don't know what you mean. I don't understand what that gesture was.
I can't get an answer.
Coins, nickels, is that a Bitcoin? I've had like people mention that they got their tweets there. I don't use hashtags. I don't know. One thing that helps is being like a minor celebrity who tweets something very inane. Like that's, yes. I think that's the sort of the ticket there. Like if you're a drummer in a band that was big in the 90s and you say this fight rocks, you'll make it. So that will take some planning. I mean, for far ahead for you to develop a career and not have it anymore. But you know,
Kairos Boatley on Periscope says, Shaquille, I need to see you with a drink in your hand next time, buddy.
Oh,
buddy, Kairos is here. It's right there. It's right there. All right, what else we got going? Oh, and also Kairos correctly mentioned Chiesa versus Magny, but that's the closest in my mind. I actually agree, because although that ranking wise was a pretty decent fight, you knew it was going to be boring as all hell from the get-go, and it was. So
but they're more established names though. Like we're more excited about Ciryl Gane than we are maybe about Magny at this point of our lives.
Yeah.
But I do feel like those were like more established names. I don't know though. Like that's one thing I always wonder about. Like if you ask a random person who Jairzinho Rozenstruik and who Ciryl are, I don't know.
Whoa, say that name again.
Rozenstruik?
Wow.
I don't even know. I don't
listen. I believe my rule of thumb: the less it sounds like someone from North America is saying it, the more likely it is to be right. So I will definitely take.
But I'm sounding like a Brazilian, and he's from Suriname, so I don't know. Jairzinho, though, it is from it comes from a Brazilian soccer player. So Jairzinho, I know I'm saying right, but I think Rozenstruik is Dutch or something. So I'm probably butchering it.
I'll give one more shout out to Kairos here, who made his way over to YouTube. Thank you. Guys, go subscribe to Kairos' YouTube channel. He does great work. It's refreshing to see someone with, unlike me, a nice backdrop and a nice camera. And his content is super upbeat and fun. Go give him a quick subscribe. We would love that. Maybe you can Venmo me some money, Kairos.
In our time. I'm not getting any money for any of this, so you know I mean it. It's from the heart.
You don't need people to know that you're doing this for free.
Okay, I'm sorry. I do a lot of things for that didn't make it any better.
How many Negronis are we in, Fernanda?
2.5.
Okay, perfect. And I like how you dropped. There was at no point did you ask me like, "Hey, is it okay if we drink on this show?" It was made as a matter of fact. Like, "Hey, unless you want me to dip, we're drinking."
I just did the tweet, and if you had responded negatively, like that was my plan. Like if it goes wrong, that's how you're. Yeah, so like if you had, but I was kind of thinking like the Sound of Violence guys responded like this is good promotion. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, they're gonna be like this messy girl is gonna be up there like talking nonsense, and I want to watch it. So that's
this is a great idea. I know Sean. This is so funny. I never had this conversation with my boss Sean, but I never made a big deal of it. We used to have a drink of the week on my show. I don't see it as a problem. And then Sean was on one time, and someone else mentioned it, and he said, because Sean doesn't drink, and he's like, yeah, my rule is people can drink on like more casual programming, like gaming live streams, so long as it doesn't affect the work. And I'm sitting there with like a drink in my hand thinking, I never had this conversation.
Is this affecting my work or is it making it better?
This is true. And I'm having the genius idea now that we should get a drink sponsor. Because I'll drink whatever. Someone sends it to me and pays me a little money. I'll drink whatever on this show.
I would do the same for my podcast, so I get it. I'm the same way.
Speaking of which, this is a very good time to call you out and say, by the way, Magomed Ankalaev won. If that wasn't obvious going into the judges' scorecard, but I'm pretty sure after the last time
I got my decision right, though.
You're like, hey, Shaq, I'm gonna have you on my show, and I ain't got no invite.
Oh my God, I'm getting called out. I'm saving you for a special occasion, Shaq.
Are you going to join us for UFC 259 night? It's going to be a bigger commitment. I have to give you a heads up now.
Why? Because it's 3 fights, right?
I think. Let me see what the main. We might just do the whole main card, but also you can literally drop in and out at your leisure. So Sean does.
Oh, see.
We'll probably do the whole main card. Actually, we'll probably start for Cruz Kenny.
Okay. Like, if you don't think like I've been too messy, let's reconvene next week.
You're right.
See how you feel about it.
Let us know in the comments section by the end of the main event. Has Nanda been too messy to get an invite back next week?
Is this like too chaotic for us? Which is a lot for as an MMA fan to come out and be like, "This is where I draw the line." But I'm open to constructive criticism.
Well, I was asked how I would like describe. Every time people come on for the first time, like, okay, what's the vibe? And I always describe it as, friends sharing a drink, watching the fights. But I didn't quite literally mean that. But here we are. It happened. So I'm fine with it.
Well, in my defense, didn't last time you say something about maybe having alcohol? I'm not making that up. You said that last time about when we did and it was during the day. So excuse me for thinking that if it's okay to do it in daylight.
I know. I just like to throw
okay to do it.
I'm just deflecting, to be completely honest.
I do my podcast mostly sober, but early on when I was really fucking nervous, I'm a nervous person, especially every time I interview someone. It could be somebody you're gonna see it. I change personalities because even if it's a person I'm comfortable with, I get really nervous. I used to do a shot before interviews that made me really nervous.
I've done that before.
Sad.
Not necessarily to curb the nervousness, but it actually sometimes it helps. Yeah. Sometimes it helps.
I think it helps. You get a little looser and stuff, and yeah. And I'm an overstudier. I do these very stiff scripts, and I tend to get a little caught up in it. Yeah. So I like to get out of my head for a little bit when I do interviews. I don't think it's backfired yet, but I don't listen back, so who knows?
Hey, I gotta give a shout out to our homie Kairos, coming in with the super chat donation, your first official drink sponsor. Thank you so much, Kairos. And I have you on. Let me just put this out there, Kairos. I have a list of people I want on the pods. Your name has been on there for a while now. We will get to it, I promise. Yeah, good times. Making a good impression for the boss. And guys, if you want to be cool like Kairos, good luck. But if you want to get close, throw us a super chat donation. It would mean the world.
You can't be as cool as Kairos. That's a natural gift.
Yeah, I see. I just know Twitter, MMA Twitter is not my strong suit. I try and engage here and there, but some people got it, some people don't. I don't have it. Okay,
I think you have it. You have an infectious smile, Shaq.
Thank you.
Give
yeah,
you that.
It's
you have
it covers the entirety of the screen.
No, it's like Amanda Hebas. It pulls you in. You're invested in the situation.
Amanda Hebas has a winning smile. Look at that. What I got? Look at Nanda getting a little loose, getting a little friendly, full of compliment. You're like me. You're like when I'm feeling myself, I'm just throwing out compliments left, right, and center.
Yeah, I'm a little like that. I'm a fun person to be around when I drink. I think for a while I go from 0 to 100 real quick. I'll say that.
Caleb wants to know what portion of Twitter is my strong suit. Shit talking people in DMs, probably.
You do that?
No. Well, okay. I slip once in a while, but I'm way too paranoid of things getting leaked to speak ill of people on social media. Sometimes people I know want to start arguing with me. I say, call me. I'm not doing it over Twitter.
You're doing it right, because for it to get screen grabbed and shit.
It's too easy. I was talking to one of my friends the other day who was saying that they got into an argument with an old colleague, and their old colleague thought, what's the best way to get back at you? Air all of our DMs. And it just made that person look like a lunatic, but it happens. You never know. Especially people, if I haven't met you, I'm not going to trust you with anything that you could use against me. You know what I mean?
I should do
keeping
that.
I'm
I
keeping that
do
to
the
myself.
opposite of that. Yeah, I don't.
Wow.
I'm honestly surprised that I'm still around, because I will literally say anything to anyone, and it's not a cute look, but
Yeah. Rock
I
it.
feel like I
Rock
get
what
in
you got.
people's good graces. Yeah.
Guys, if you want to get your tweet, statement, whatever read on the air, there's two ways to do it. One, super chat donation. That goes a long way. Second of all, oh, no, not you, Kairos. You already got yours. Eric Saldes, leave me a compliment. That always goes well.
See,
I'll pop for that.
I was just talking about your pearly whites. They are a sight. They're beautiful. You should be proud of them.
Thank you very much. I'm like trying to make a graphic right now, very unsuccessfully. So I don't even know where we are, but I assume the main event is coming up. So it's time then to give me your official pick.
Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna pick heavyweight fights like this. It's just,
Yeah.
I feel like you're just setting yourself up for failure. You can never be, if you're speaking on this confidently, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I am immediately suspicious of a person who gives like a confident pick for a fight.
Is this why you still haven't sent in your picks that I asked you to record for me?
No, that is because
Poor Nanda. I'm dragging
it got up until Friday, and I was like, he's not going to use this Saturday. So I have like 2 extra days to do this. So that was kind of my thinking behind it. Also, I fell behind work, as one does, as I do often with my deadlines. And also I hate picks, as I told you, but I will give it my best shot. I'm giving I'm just like, I'll just make up for it with charisma. Like that's how I go about life.
I ask you all to do it, so I don't have to. Although I do put myself in there because I'm conceited and need attention. But
I mean, who among us? We're journalists. I'm picking Ciryl Gane tonight. Based on, I don't even know why. I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Jairzinho got in there and like knocked him out in like 2 seconds. But I just have a hard time seeing him lose now. And I might also be voting with my heart because I think it's so cool. Have you seen his Instagram? It all looks like an ad for like a athleisure brand. It's amazing. So I'm voting for him via submission. Let's go crazy. Round 2.
Guys, I want to hear your picks wherever you are: YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter. Let us know your picks. I'm going with Ciryl too. And for me, as someone, I have to go off like resume and experience in MMA math because I have no understanding of technical breakdowns. I just think Ciryl Gane's looked more impressive. I think he beat Junior Dos Santos more impressively than Rozenstruik did. Also, the fact that Jairzinho lost like 24 minutes and 50 seconds of that Alistair Overeem fight, a little bit cause for concern. I don't quite know what his upper ceiling potential is, so off that I'll go with Gane. But I do think he was like I think at the time I looked at the betting websites, Jairzinho was like a plus 250 underdog. I think that's a little unfair. I think the line should be a bit closer than that.
But it's interesting that you said that, like, it is discouraging to think of him at that fight and how he was losing until the very point where he wasn't. And then you think about the whole career of Derek Lewis, and you're like, maybe that's a good gamble as a heavyweight to be the person who's like kind of losing up until the point where you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm tired of losing. I might just win. So who knows? Who knows what the ceiling is? But I agree with you. And I'm with you there. And I was actually talking about this with my boyfriend earlier today, because he was saying that he thought the odds were a little too lopsided for the situation. And I was like, it's heavyweight. What is too lopsided? What is reality? We don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. I often don't bet on. I don't recommend betting on heavyweight fights. All right, let's go to the chat real quick. No one gave their picks, but they did say a bunch of other stuff. Okay. Let's go to Eric real quick. He says, my odd question before the main event: should both Rene Aldana and Alexa Grasso change their camps in order to be more competitive? I'll be honest, this is something like James Lynch is really good at. I am so bad on staying on top of like where people fight, who's a good coach, what's a good camp. Nanda, is this something you could answer?
I'm not great at this either, but what I think they're both obviously from the same camp, I think Lobo in Mexico. What I think could be happening there is a little bit of denialism. When they lose, they like with Irene, we've seen that a couple of times, like excuses and not acknowledgement of the problems. With Holly, we saw that heavily, like, oh, I was injured, and just let's ignore the fact that I was like fucking beaten pillar to post on this one and just blame it on my injury. And that to me is kind of indicative sort of a camp mentality. At the same time, like I've seen that a few times with Novo Union, for instance, which was such a big team for a long time and I still think is a great team. I saw that, I think, a lot with Aldo, and it worried me. He would come out of a loss kind of in that mentality of, oh, it was that one blow or it was that one thing, and otherwise it was perfect.
Yeah.
So whenever I hear that from a fighter, I kind of like get alarmed. And I think we saw with Alexa Grasso's sort of inconsistent run, and Irene had a lot of success in a few fights, but in a not so deep division. Having said all of that, I don't know if switching camps is the way to go now. Honestly, I think it really is up to the fighters. Some fighters really need to get uncomfortable to get better. Or get different looks in sparring, or and some fighters actually thrive from having just more of a familiar, nurturing environment. So I would have to know them, I guess, more personally to know if that was the case.
Shout out to Ronnie Lawrence, who put on such an incredible performance on the prelims. 2 rounds of just dominant grappling, followed by a huge knockdown and a bunch of ground and pound. And we talking to Paul Felder, like he is not at all impressed with his own performance. I appreciate it from a work ethic. It's a sort of work ethic you need. As a liver of life, I say, enjoy the fruits of your labor. But he looks so damn impressive. And to have that sort of winning mentality where he's just not satisfied, I expect him to go a long way.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's got the wrong nickname, but,
What's his nickname?
He's Messina. I don't even know, but he's not Ronnie Johnny Lawrence. So that's stupid. That's a mistake. I can't even blame, like, this is, I tweeted that earlier, entirely sober, so I can't even blame it on that. Yeah, but I get, so that's the thing, right? Like, as a perfectionist myself, and I don't mean that in a good way, I mean that in like a crippling, terrible way, I can understand that. But at the same time, you just put on like a great performance, dude. And like, I think it's kind of a bummer when you do that on the mic a little bit. People might not understand it that well. Like maybe you should hype yourself up a little more, but it was really impressive. It was just really just a great performance.
Shout out to Colby Faria, our wonderful staff right over at Fightful. Go check out his live coverage. He shows up every week without fail to ask us if we're streaming the fights.
Okay.
It's like the 4th week in a row.
Okay, no. We can reenact them. I mean, I'm not. It's heavyweight. I think we it's heavyweight. We might have the skill to, like, there won't be a lot of flying shit.
It could be one punch. She might get a quick knockout. The chat is majority, but not exclusively, in favor of Gane. We'll say that.
Okay. Well, maybe that explains the odds a little bit. Like,
yeah,
a lot of people not entirely confident, but still a lot of people with Gane.
I haven't even checked if my bets won. I don't even remember what my bets were. I've told the story before, so sorry for regurgitating it. Actually, quick reminder, guys. The way these live stream softwares work, there is a delay between what Nanda and I are doing and when it hits your YouTube, Facebook, Periscope feed. So chances are, unless you're watching a really, really crappy stream, you're going to be ahead of us. So expect to celebrate a knockout and then hear from us like 20 seconds down the road. Is what it is. But yeah, I got my money stuck in one of these betting sites. Now I can't get it out. And turns out I hate betting on fights. So I just check a betting guide every week and I do exactly what it says. And if I make a profit at the end of the year, great. If not, I haven't. This money's from like 3-4 years ago anyway.
That's a good strategy, though.
Yeah. And then you don't feel bad either. Like, if you just follow to a T what someone else tells you to do, and someone with like a track record,
it's their fault.
Yeah, I don't even think about it. I click in the numbers and I move on with my day. And then I don't feel like I need to change anything if it doesn't work. I leave that to people much more capable than I.
like my favorite fact about Jairzinho, I'm just gonna say it even though he didn't,
All right, touch of the gloves.
is that his Instagram account, he puts like a little frame on all of it. I mean, at least last time I checked, with Biggie Boy. And every frame, literally every photo that he posts to his feed. And I think that's beautiful.
That's love.
It's just a just beautiful. A great way to go about life. And the fact that his name is after like a soccer player is pretty cool too.
Yeah. All right, 30 seconds in.
Apparently used to 30
Mostly just
seconds
jumping there. Ooh.
Ooh.
Really nice
Good
straight jab by
right-handed.
Gane. And it's so fast. His boxing's insane.
Ooh. But then again, like Jairzinho just touched him and it seemed like he was
Gane's like a modern heavyweight. Like he's big and he's lean. You usually get like the smaller heavyweights that are pretty lean, or you get the bigger guys that are kind of chubby. But this guy's like really, really in shape for his size. I hate the spine tattoo though. Not my thing.
Well, that's commitment though. Apparently those are painful. I don't know. I never got one. Yeah, I don't like literal anatomical tattoos. They're not my thing at all. At least it's not his last name that I know of. Like that's already better than most better tattoos. Like why? What's the point? Like if you get lost, somebody will take you home. Like why would you have your own last name tattoo? But again,
the only person I'll give a pass to is Anthony Pettis because he's like tied it into a gimmick and he's big enough to cash off on that nickname. The rest of them, terrible. Terrible.
Is it though? Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a nickname. I'll take that.
Okay,
over,
you'll take
like,
a nickname.
Literal last name.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, 1 second. People trying to knock on the office door. I'm busy here. Someone would like to know what our picks are for Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunas. I don't know, but Rose is like one of my favorite fighters, so hard on my sleeve. I'm picking Rose Namajunas.
I love Rose too. She's amazing, and just like personally, I think she's just such an interesting character for us to have in the sport. However, I'm going with Zhang Weili. I think just her power might be the difference, but every time I picked against Rose, she like did a number on me. So I don't know.
Rozenstruik caught a kick from Gane. Rattled forward with a few big leaping hooks, but I don't think any of them hit. That wasn't a cup shot, I don't think.
Barely. If he's alive, he's okay. He's still. I mean, that's the thing. I can't really relate to those shots. But
Mike Swanson can confirm spine tattoos are painful, and Cairo says like Rose on her best day can get the W, but it's gonna be tough. Yeah, I think that's right. That might be the most exciting fight on the card, like in the upcoming months for me.
That is really exciting, and she can. It's not a confident. Well,
Gone. Huge shot. And it looked like he hurt Rozenstruik. Dude, he's so fast and he's so accurate.
And like he's the kind of guy like I want around at heavyweight. Like this is a good time for heavyweights in general, right? Like after years of it just being terrible, we're just finally getting like some excitement and some interest in that division. And I think it's like an interesting change of looks for the division. So
guys, super active in the chat today. Keep clicking on the wrong stuff. Rod Ortazon on Facebook. Rod, head over to youtube.com/FightfulMMA. Join the live chat there. It's popping. Is it true the UFC is bigger than boxing in the USA right now? I don't really know about the statistics, but I'd say like as a property, UFC is probably bigger now. I think the top boxing fights generally draw more, but there's just not that many of them. Like UFC at this point is your weekly television programming, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know how it is in the US, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, like, right? I write for an American audience and like I write in English and stuff, but like I'm just so in the MMA bubble that I have a really hard time gauging.
Mhm.
Because to me, it does seem like that. And then we have like random ass boxing fight, and the numbers are so much bigger than a good MMA fight that seems super big for us. So at this point, I've given up on sort of having any thoughts on the situation. I would guess boxing's still bigger in overall numbers. But as a brand and as something, I really can't tell.
I like it. We should I should start. Nanda, if we do this again, would you be interested in live streaming it to your Twitter as well?
Can we do that?
I don't know, but I'll look into it.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if people are weird enough to follow me, they're probably weird enough to care what I have to say. So who knows? Let's see where that takes us. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Rod, if you head over to youtube.com/FightfulMMA, you got a bunch of people weighing in on the boxing versus MMA debate. I apologize. Although we do this for a living, apparently Fernanda and I don't know our heads from our asses. So what are you going to do?
In fairness, I'm not in the USA, and that was a very specific question. So I will, Well, Canada is actually we're like I'm in Mexico, so I can.
we both have a border where the states are sandwiched right between us.
Unfortunately, yes, I do not have an excuse. I'm close enough now that I don't have that excuse. I would guess boxing's bigger, but.
Gane is so light on his feet. I don't know what Gane's like striking background is, but if you were to tell me that one of these two men is a decorated kickboxer, and I know Rozenstruik is, I would assume it's Gane.
But like, I think it's
like,
isn't
he switches stances, he bounces on his feet.
Yeah. But that's the thing. So I don't know because I'm not like we're talking and I'm watching, but like, isn't he very tentative? Which we can understand considering what's waiting on the other side of those hands and legs. But still.
Well, Spencer Kite and I were talking about this yesterday on the 1-2 Punch live stream.
Yeah.
The heavyweights, like you don't really notice unless it's like a situation like this where there's no crowd or unless you're there live. It sounds different when they make contact. Like listen, the heads and necks only grow so much in comparison to the body, right? So like it's not like they can absorb the same like exponentially as much damage as like a flyweight can. It's scary when you hear two heavyweights ringside clash bodies. It sounds like a car wreck.
It's fucking terrifying. I haven't been there for that many, but a few that stand out for me, like I saw Verdun and Begnog live, and Verdun had Begnog's arm, and the whole just having that so close between heavyweights was just a terrifying sight and sound, and the whole thing, like it just felt. And when they fall to the canvas, there's a big difference.
Like a firecracker going off.
You get like the seismic vibrations there. It's just an overall like just totally different experience though, watching it ringside. But octagon side, but with the heavyweights, it is absolutely different. And the higher you go in general in weight divisions, but
all right, this is the set part in contest, and my feet hurt, and so I have to pull out the ceremonial toilet-like stool. Probably a symbol of where my career is headed, but here we are.
Or the world at large.
Truly. Have you seen sorry guys, I know we're not talking about the fight, but there's not a whole lot happening.
There's only so much we can do with this, everyone.
Yeah.
It's no Ngannou and Lewis, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, better than that. Have you seen what's that new Netflix mockumentary, Death to 2020?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's fun.
It's fun. I read like sort of mixed reviews.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's fun. It's maybe if not U.S. Customs, not that I would ever dare, but if someone wanted to, just a little.
Yes.
It's fun. Watch Hugh Grant pretend to know shit.
I'm always down for that, actually. And it's not like we're doing anything better with our lives. Like we can't even pretend like, I had something better to do with those 2 hours. Nobody's doing that.
So
I'm
Kairos
just like
MMA.
rewatching Schitt's Creek.
You can tell this is Kairos' first time on a watch along because he's asking about the swords in the back. So now I have to do my show and tell. Oh, Gon gets Jairzinho to the ground, jumps onto a rear naked choke.
Oh, I had what submission round 2. Oh,
Jairzinho. Oh, now they're exchanging knees in the clinch. Fun.
Imagine being kneed by
Kairos,
people
I will
this
get to
big.
the. Oof. Sorry, you're right. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying shit.
Kairos will get to the katanas during the break. Nanda, what's Fernanda's best gin and vermouth combo for Negronis? Also, what is Shaq drinking? I just grabbed a ginger ale and some vodka and made a highball.
This is my first time making these. Usually I'm like a gin and tonic girl, meaning I just put gin and tonic because it's easy. And I found out this is easy too. So the gin I'm using Tanqueray because like I feel like you can't go wrong with that. The vermouth is like I don't know it. We were in a Mexican supermarket and they had 2, and I read that the Martini Rosa was bad and we got the other one. I have no idea what the name is. I'm sorry. And Campari. But I will let you know on Twitter, and it's fine. It's alcohol. I'm not picky.
Yeah, my new thing, because I'm trying to get through my vermouth and Campari stash now. Americanos, super. You can drink like 8 of them and be fine. It's just soda water, vermouth, Campari.
They had that in the packaging of the Campari, like a little how to make a Americano.
So,
but this is I like it. Sorry, no, it's just me talking about alcohol.
That's a theme.
Day in the life.
Yeah, so the katanas in the back, they're either decorate. Some of them are decorative. Some of them are wooden. So like they're for practice. This is my dad's shit on mine. But we have one real one here. It was just too. We have one real one here. It was just too heavy to fit on the stand in a aesthetically pleasing way. So there's this one, and from what I understand, this is like an actual belong to a samurai battle tested katana. Now let me try not to cut myself.
Yeah, let's not do that live. So I feel like it will be good for views and we will go viral, but like that's not how I want to claim my viral fame.
So there's the katana. It's got a little design on the blade. You can see it's like a little beat up and worn out. So there's the authenticity. And that was my show and tell. Thank you for coming. Enjoy fight.
I feel like it was worth this. It was worth my night just to have this explanation. I love it. Just real quick, the vermouth brand is Cinzano Rosso. And I know this because boyfriend who is watching TV right in front of me texted it to me like a very nice person. He's just an angel.
Nice jab by Gon.
He's like doing those teeps a lot, but
do you think this I mean, granted, the fact that we spent maybe like 10 seconds talking about it might give you the answer, but do you think this main event has thus far been boring?
Yes. I will just say again, I think that I'm distracted, so I need to like make people aware of that fact, so it's not like me being super unfair to these very fine athletes who have their reasons not to be as aggressive as we would like them to be. But so far I'm not riveted, I'll tell you that.
It's it's like a good technical striking fight, but listen, I'm here for some blood and guts, Ooh, Gon shot for a takedown on the way out. Rozenstruik missed him by like a centimeter.
Yeah.
Oh, Gon landed a huge overhand, right? Dude, Gon is so fast. He blocks the right hook from Rozenstruik and then jabs him quick.
And that's like solid heavyweight cardio too. Like more.
Yeah, they're going at a good pace.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. Just because I'm not enjoying it all that much. I don't blame them.
Yeah, not at all. Like that's the thing. Like, please don't compromise your paycheck and your health for my enjoyment. Yeah. Like, I also have Netflix. Like, just fuck me, honestly. Like, don't ever do anything to please me. That's my general direction in life. But
that's gonna get clipped. Those words are gonna get clipped.
But
I might be the one who clips them.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like this is very deliberate. I feel like this is
You're definitely invited next week.
well, I'm just gonna say that English is not my first language. Okay, like that's gonna be my line of defense moving forward. The more we do of these, and the more opportunities I get to say insane things.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. You're in the right industry for it. This is mild for Dana White. So.
But yeah, I agree with you. I don't blame them. It's never like I see a boring fight, I'm like, oh fuck them. Like I understand why it happened, but like how I think like Ngannou and Lewis was like the most heartbreaking example of that we've ever seen in our lives.
Let me point this out. Most people have the courtesy to do two things. One, ask if they can drink on the show. And two, apologize the first time they cuss and ask if it's okay. Nan does neither of these things tonight.
Again, not my first language. I don't know the difference.
You don't even know what they mean.
Between swearing and like regular words.
This is actually that's
I'm gonna do about this.
To be fair, and again, I'm sorry we're not talking about the fight, but they're mostly just fainting and missing. Gane's got a great jab. He's got a great, quick, accurate jab. My father, sorry, he has a foul mouth in Farsi, like the language we speak in Iran.
Yeah.
And so I learned my Farsi through him because like I don't speak it. I speak probably like a 4th grade level, 5th grade level. I don't speak like fluent. Okay. So then I'll use those terms around my grandmother, and I get a verbal whooping. And then she has to teach me like the appropriate way to say things because the only way I've learned the language is through like my dad's potty mouth. So it is what it is.
I don't even have an excuse. I swear a lot in both Portuguese and English, and I'm learning Spanish, and like basically 90% of what I know is swear words. It's all that my brain retained for some reason. I don't even know why.
Gane's got great defense. He gets his hands up real quick. He moves out of the way. I have it Gane. This has been the most competitive round, but I think I have it 3-0 for Gane. Maybe 2-1.
Baby, are you bored too, or is it just us? He said he would rather be watching boxing. So
is he actually paying attention to this card too?
He is. He's like sitting in front of me, entirely stone cold sober because he's like taking antibiotics, and because like somebody needs to be an adult in the household. He has, and and he's usually like a more sophisticated person than I am for these things. So, and
let's talk a little bit about. Let's say at this rate, Gane's going to win, but who knows? Cairo says he was expecting more CTE tonight.
Oh, that's just mean. That's just in poor taste, Kairos. But I think a lot of people can understand where you're coming from. Not me, though. I'm a good
person. Herb Dean has given Gane a hard warning for keeping those fingers out
stretch
of Rozenstruik's eyes. Okay, at this rate, whoever wins, what do you do with the winner? Because I think the obvious choice is the winner of this fights Derek Lewis, and by that time you should have some clarity in the Miocic, Ngannou Jones situation.
Yeah.
But Derek Lewis says he wants to fight Alistair Overeem. Do you think the promotion will go with that? And if they do, what do you do with the winner of this fight instead?
That's a difficult.
I see a long question.
No. It's just like I think it will really boil down to timing. It's really hard for me, like these days, particularly to know what the UFC is gonna do because I don't understand their motives behind things a lot. If they need like a solid filler for a card, like a good headliner that is not a title fight and that's gonna get people interested, they're gonna put Overeem and Lewis in there for sure. And then probably wait for the whole, like you said, the whole Ngannou, Stipe, Jones, and that's Jones. Like, what the fuck do we even do with him at this point? What the hell? Sorry, can I swear?
Yeah, you can swear as much as you want.
But
I'm
I
messing up.
wanted to be polite because
Yeah,
we're in Canada and I know you guys are into
That's
polite.
it's too late now. That train has left the
Oh,
station.
I'm sorry. That's I'm sorry. I just like to think that better late than ever. But and I think that favors the UFC in a way because like the fact that this hasn't been a
Mhm.
super exciting fight and there hasn't been like an amazing knockout, they can put whoever wins, which
That's a good point.
probably on
That's a
hold.
really good point. If this fight ends the way it's going, I think there's probably less interest in matching him up
Mhm,
with Derek Lewis. And I also get like I think it's a smart call out for Derek Lewis fight over him because it's a no offense to
mhm.
Alistair, but it's a very winnable fight for Derek. There's a
Yeah.
storyline there, Overeem trying to avenge Curtis Blades, Derek with
Mhm.
this huge resurgence for him. If this fight ends the way it is, I think, yeah, Lewis Overeem, give Lewis the title shot after Jones gets his. This is assuming like the timing all adds up. And I'd say
Mhm.
the winner of this fight should fight Alexander Volkov.
Oh, that's a good call. Or and there are a couple of like up and coming guys
Want to take
too
a
who
look?
just won their fights that just might sit there as sort of like wild cards
Yeah.
in
Let me
case
see
they
who we
need
got.
like a filler. Last weekend, who was it? I
Chris
totally
Dawkins. Chris
forgot his
Dawkins.
name. Yeah,
Ranked number
Dawkins.
10 now.
Yeah.
And then Tom Aspinall still isn't in the top 15, but
Let me see
he
how
should
they-
get a big fight soon.
yeah.
I could see, you know what I think would be a fun fight if Dos Santos really wants to fight again. I think Tom Aspinall versus Junior Dos Santos would be good because Junior's got
Why-
some
why
of the
do you-
best. Well, I don't want Junior to fight, but if he does, I think he's got some of the best pure boxing among heavyweights. And then
He
Tom
does.
Aspinall's another level. So I don't know.
He does. And it is to me like one of those fights that I don't necessarily expect Junior to get starched. Like might be
Mhm.
one of those good opportunities for him to show that he still got it and where his experience might actually play into it. At the same time, at this point of his career, like that
Oh, they're
would just
holding hands.
that said loss.
Oh, a great step in knee. And it landed on the balls. Colby, shout out to Colby. Poor Colby. He wrote at some point earlier at the start of this round, I wouldn't mind an eye poke. At least something would be happening. And follows that
I
up
mean,
with, I wrote Kanye lands a kick to the lead leg of Rozenstruik. Maybe Colby, you need to not write as much. If there's nothing happening, there's nothing to write.
I'm like that though. When I used to do like I had to do like
Ooh, nice counter right from Kanye. Sorry.
no, when I had to like write up event, I didn't have to do it a lot at MMA Junkie just because of the language thing. I'm a slower writer in general, but like I was much slower than the rest of the staff. But like when I had to do it, I'm like that kind of writer. Like I'll write everything and then I'll have to cut it down, and I don't recommend it. Like it's just so much work.
Yeah, it's so much work.
Like there are more productive ways to go about it. But I felt safer that way, and I still do when I have to write fast. So all the power to Kobe.
A few people have been asking about the result. The fight is still happening on my screen. We're at about 45 seconds left in round number 4. It's probably 4 rounds to nothing for Gunn, but it hasn't been particularly exciting. You know what? Rozenstruik's got a good chin on him. He keeps getting hit.
Like Gunn just landed like a good one. And a leg kick.
It's been a lot of leg kicks and jabs from Gunn.
Yeah. But like after Jimmy Rivera's leg, I feel like I'm just like traumatized. I'm just scarred for life after seeing what happened today with those legs.
Yeah. Significant strike 69 to about 26 in Gunn's favor. And Joseph Bozo makes a good point. Gunn's showing he can go 5 rounds. Granted, the pace hasn't been that high, but he's a really athletic heavyweight.
Still, yeah. I still think that like volume-wise for heavyweight for 4 rounds, this is impressive.
Yeah, it's good. So Rozenstruik needs a finish, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And we've seen him get it after 3 rounds with Overeem. So, and not only that, but like break Overeem's whole situation, like that lip that will forever haunt my dreams. So who knows? But
I would love to see Gunn. Dude, he's so fast. He's so accurate with all of his weapons. I'm excited to see him in a fight where someone perhaps can force the action a little more. Because I want to see how he responds. Because on offense, he's terrific. His counter striking's on point. He's going to be a problem, I think. I think people are going to be gun shy against him.
but that's the thing, right? Like
Oh, this chest tattoo is even worse than the one on his spine. What is that?
But Volkov is proof that you can come back from that. His whole mask on his back is proof that you can have an awful tribal manta ray thing and life isn't over. It gets better.
You know what? Volkov, to his credit, that was a pretty good cover-up.
That's a great cover-up. You can even see the whole mess underneath it. But I would be interested in seeing Gane against one of the young guys like Aspinall, like more aggressive, more guns blazing, less to lose type guys. I don't know. I'd be interested. I think it would all be good matchups. Like maybe he wants after this a move up, but he's still pretty young in his career. I still think that it makes sense. Yeah, but this is not ideal. And my boyfriend was even joking just right before we started, because I was like, oh, this live thing is going to last like 2 minutes because somebody's going to knock somebody out. And I was like, imagine if it's one of those 5-round heavyweight fights.
Yeah, people are asking about what happened to John Jones on the John Jones is I love the tweets when they use it for stuff like this. John Jones, right? These boys better get used to pushing the pace. All this standing around ain't gonna fly when daddy comes home. This is how to use those tweets.
Yeah,
Nick Baldwin. This is how you use it.
He did throw Nick Baldwin with his tweet timing. No, that was a good one. I'm a hater of a lot of John Jones's tweets because I think they're just like attention grabby, but I'll support this one.
I got you. People are asking about what happened to Ashley Yoder, Angela Hill. One of Yoder's cornermen tested positive for you know what. Angela Hill seemed to suggest that it's getting rebooked for UFC Vegas 21 on March 13th.
Yeah, right? So, that was what she said on Instagram. Yeah, both.
One or the other.
She read the same tweet. Yeah. I saw it on Instagram. Yeah, she was they won't be fighting. Feels like 50%. So I do feel very lucky that we're already rebooked for March 13th.
Kairos MMA writes, it's fights like this that really make me believe John can dominate at heavyweight, and it is fights like this that make me wish I had made a second beverage. What are you gonna do?
Mine is over too. Yeah, life is. I only made a half this time.
Oh, with the orange slice, how fancy, dude! Rozenstruik. Listen, like I get that he's a counter striker, but it's not gonna work. You gotta do something. How impressed would you be though if he overeems the situation? If he gets another
that's exactly what I'm gonna say. Like this is exactly the kind of chaos that I live for. Like this was not great. We have no idea what to do with any with any of this. And then Rozenstruik finds like a thing in the was that a knee? Oh man. Okay. Oh, that's crazy.
Smart gone though. I think he started feeling the pressure a little bit. Immediate body lock into a clinch.
But I do think that John Jones will like breeze through 4/5 of it and then would get to the final 3 and then we would have some interesting. I think like even Volkov could give John Jones like an interesting fight. Yeah. From Volkov up, I'm curious.
I would have liked for John to get one litmus test fight before the title, but I understand from you don't want to risk John losing to Volkov and then killing that momentum immediately.
Plus, I agree with what you're saying. We don't know what he's gonna look like at heavyweight.
And now Francis Ngannou is chiming in. Daddy comes home. 3 laughing emojis. I love that. This is perfect. Anything to drive a story forward, you know.
At this point, we're just here for like the storyline.
Nigel wants to know what's happening. I literally don't know how the fight's going. Listen, if it was interesting, Nigel, we would have talked about it. It's been 5 rounds of Gane jabbing and leg kicking Rozenstruik, and he's spending the last minute in the clinch working on little takedowns. So that has been the fight.
Yeah, he got right back up.
And we thank you for watching the Periscope. I apologize. We haven't been giving you some live commentary, but it really isn't worth anyone's time to. But Gane looks great. super fast, super accurate, mixes it up when he needs to, cardio for days. I'm super excited to see him fight at the highest level. And no worries, Nigel. Appreciate it. If you want to hit up the live chat on YouTube, we do these every Saturday, somewhere between the main event and the main card. Next week, we'll do the entire main card. YouTube.com/FightfulMMA, best place to be. That's where the live chat is. You know what's up. Thanks for tuning in.
You're juggling a lot of social media there, Chuck.
Got to plug away. Got to get these numbers up. It's ticking up every day. It was a slow 6 months of getting the content out, but every day I see those subscriber numbers ticking up. And it's good. It's hard work. I definitely am not used to, like, I used to be a Bloody Elbow, MMA Mania. These are websites that have an existing audience. It's definitely been a unique experience trying to start something, not from the ground up per se, because Fightful is a huge wrestling site, but nonetheless, trying to make a footprint over in MMA, and it's been fun. Met a lot of great people. Nice to have Kairos here tonight. Joseph's always hanging out. Nigel's joining the crew. So, and I've gotten to do way more stuff with my media colleagues. Nanda, it's a pleasure talking to you all.
I feel very special right now to be part of this. It's beautiful. When it's like huge and you're very famous, you're gonna have to think of me like,
oh god,
remember way back when Fernando was like not entirely sober and joined me for that terrible fight.
I don't know about all that.
And offered lukewarm commentary on a lukewarm fight. I feel like
wow. Ciryl Gane gets the 50-45 clean sweep.
Okay.
And I gotta give a shout out to the Sound of Violence, who's shouting out my old podcast with Kajan Johnson, Pull No Punches. Sound of Violence, day one right here. Thank you so much, dude.
They are like committed. It's amazing. They actually listen to all of us. They're great, and they listen to us, which is the amount of podcasts they listen to make their show is just
I wish people like Sound of Violence would hit me up more on Twitter and stuff, because you honestly don't know sometimes. Like, you don't know how many good people are out there who actually enjoy the content. They watch, they don't really like make their voices heard. So it's really nice having you guys so active in the live chat tonight. All right. Considering that performance, Nanda, we already touched on a little bit, but final decision, what do you want to see Gane do next? What do you want to see him fight?
I would actually honestly want to see him. I know that's not going to be a popular opinion, and I might even regret it tomorrow, but like, I would actually be more interested to see him against maybe a newer guy than just throw him against a top 5 now.
Okay.
I mean, obviously he had a main event. He won't want to backtrack on that, but like, I don't know. Like, is he ready for Jones?
He'll be ranked ahead of Volkov after this, so I'm sticking to that fight.
That's a great fight. You're right. That would be a good fight. I still think Volkov like eats him for dinner, honestly.
Wow. Okay.
But it's a good test.
Well, that's what Volkov needs too, though, right?
Better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's better than people give him credit for, and it will be an interesting test. I think you're right, though. I think that's an interesting fight. Like, if you're gonna go up, like, that's the limits. Like, that's Volkov is right. He's not a gatekeeper. I don't think so. He's still a little. I will like him. I hold him in higher regard than that, but I do think that he's right up there. But either that or like a Tom Aspinall type, just make it like weird.
Yeah. That, you know what? I don't hate it. I get what you're saying. It'd be nice to get a little bit more clarity on where this guy's at. Okay. Nigel says he should fight someone like Overeem. I'd be fine with an Overeem fight too. Especially the way this 5-round decision went. Okay, Nanda, we got to wrap up. I got some post-fight stuff to get to. Where can the people find you?
People can find me on Twitter, Nanda Prates annoying _, and there you can find all my content. I'm currently writing for Fanbyte. Yes, it is a video game website, but we're just getting into sports coverage, and I'm there doing MMA. So, and I have some insane dumb shit coming up this week, as usual. That's my beat. And I am also my podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. It's called Best Camp of My Life. And that is pretty much it. Yes, I guess. And on Instagram as Nanda Prates, but that's not fight related. It's just me posting selfies and rants. So I don't think you'll be interested in that. But if you are, you're welcome to join me.
Love it. Low Blow wants to know about who Blades should fight next. Low Blow, do me a favor, tweet at Shaq_Fu, at Nanda Prates_. We will respond to you on Twitter because we got to get rolling. Joseph, Cairo, Sound of Violence, Colby, everyone in the live chat, Nigel, Caleb, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love doing these. I'll be back next week. If Fernanda sobers up by then, maybe we'll have her back too. We'll for sure do the entire main card for 259. Maybe we'll start a Cruz Kenny. Thank you for the super chat donations, all that good stuff. If you're on YouTube, please hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, leave a like on this video. We got content coming out every day from now until 259, so check it out. Time for that crappy outro, so stay tuned for everything fightful and so delightful. Peace out.